growing up in South Queens through high school, like, yeah, we had, dance class, we may have a couple of arts class here and there, but it was underfunded, right? I didn't go to my first art museum until I was 26 years old, right? The impact that had at me as a young adult shifted it so much that I decided to make it my career. I think if you look at arts in this kind of isolated paradigm or this isolated lens, then you will see it as something that is arts for art's sake, or something that is more of a nice to have. But then when you look at it from a lens of intersectionality, if you look at how arts informs people how to divergently think, right? How to and how to solve problems. Also how to accept other cultures. Also how to read between the lines, right? So I think about this and even like our education system, right? And how arts can integrate into our education system to allow our kids to critically think, to allow our kids to think beyond the veil, to allow for multiplicity, to allow for multiple voices, and to accept different identities and different voices. The arts allows for that. Without the arts, you do not have a vernacular, a broad vernacular of thinking about the world. So American arts kind of sets the pace on how we are looking at the impact of arts in our communities, the economic impact, the social impact, the communal impact. I would say even in case of education and educational impact, to look at art from these different lenses, right? Because you have to make a case for art when people are often trying to extract funding from the arts. Folks are downplaying the impact of the arts, so you have to make these cases that are coming from different angles. Americans for the Arts allows this kind of conversation to happen that is expansive, that's not as direct. So when we get information from American Arts, it informs this kind of like contextual lens from a natural perspective. That kind of measure from the Americans for the Arts allows us to broaden the conversation, to bring in different industries into the conversation. How does art and tech intersect? How does art and education intersect? How does arts and housing intersect? All these things come together so we can have a broader conversation about the arts. And if we know that Brooklyn is the home of the artists, if we're not caring for them, if we're not providing provisions for them, then it only becomes a hyperbolic conversation, because the artist will have to leave in order to survive.
Exactly.
So it becomes a has-been, and it becomes an industry like every other industry. We know of places like the Rust Belt or Syracuse or Buffalo that have lost industries, and it has impacted them economically, right? If we do not think about creating provisions for artists in our communities, then we're gonna have another lost industry to consider in the future. There's hundreds of thousands of people that work in the arts, right? Whether it's in administration, whether it's in maintenance, whether it's in security, it's a tremendous economic driver for many cities, right? And if we kind of disqualify it, what we do is disqualify the meaning of people having jobs. And I think that's the thing. Every industry deserves to be upheld. And I would say this, yes, we've had industries go through waves, they go through cycles. The arts has always remained. From the time of Stone Ages to the Renaissance, through colonial times to, the Great Depression, we've seen artists emerge to tell the story of the time. That's what they do, right? So regardless, industry come and go, arts always exists.